ത്രിയാക ദൈവത്തിന് സ്തുതിയായിരിക്കട്ടെ. അഭിമന്യ തിരുമേനി, സംഭ്യുജരായ വൈദികരെ, കർത്താവിൽ എന്നെ സ്നേഹിക്കുന്ന എൻ്റെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട സഹോദരി സഹോദരന്മാരെ, നമ്മുടെ ഈ കോൺഫറൻസിൻ്റെ യാത്ര ഏതാണ്ടൊരു പകുതിയോളം ആയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇന്നലെ നിങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഇവിടെ വന്ന് നിങ്ങളെ കാണുവാനും നിങ്ങൾ ഓരോരുത്തരെ ഇൻവൈറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് നിങ്ങളെ സ്വീകരിക്കുവാനൊക്കെ കണ്ടത് വലിയൊരു ഭാഗ്യമായിട്ട് തന്നെ ഞങ്ങളെ ഈ ടീം കരുതുകയാണ്. ഈ കോൺഫറൻസിൽ നിന്ന് ഒത്തിരി കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഞാൻ പ്രധാനമായിട്ട് പഠിച്ചത് ഒന്ന്, സ്വർഗീയ യെരുശലേമിലേക്ക് യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്ന ആളുകളാണെന്നാണ്. പലപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ തീർത്ഥയാത്ര മിസ്രൈമിലോട്ടുള്ള അടിമത്തത്തിലേക്കോ ബാബിലോണിലോട്ടുള്ള സുഖസൗകര്യത്തിലോട്ടോ പോകാതെ കർത്താവിനെ മാത്രം നോക്കി എപ്പോഴും പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് കർത്താവ് എന്നോട് കരുണ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ടുള്ള ഒരു യാത്രയിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ പോവുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു കോൺഫറൻസിൻ്റെ ഈ ഒരു സമയം നമ്മൾ എത്തി നിൽക്കുമ്പോൾ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ വളരെ കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ശ്രദ്ധയിലോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരാനായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു. ഒന്ന്, ഈ കോൺഫറൻസിന് ഇത്രയും വിജയമായിട്ട് വരാനുള്ള പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാരണം നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യത്തിനുള്ള ഫണ്ട്സ് നമ്മൾ റേസ് ചെയ്യാനൊത്തു, വളരെ സക്സസ്ഫുൾ ആയിട്ട് റേസ് ചെയ്യാനൊത്തു. ഞങ്ങൾ 44 ചർച്ചസ് വിസിറ്റഡ്. എല്ലാ ചർച്ചസും ഞങ്ങൾ വളരെ 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 സന്തോഷത്തോടെ സ്വീകരിച്ചു. ചില ചർച്ചസൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ വളരെ ഹാപ്പിയോടെ സ്വീകരിച്ചു. അറിയാം, ഞങ്ങൾ എല്ലാ വർഷവും വരുമെന്നറിയാം, എൻ്റെ മുഖം കാണുമ്പോൾ പിരിക്കാനാണെന്നറിയാം, പക്ഷേ ഞങ്ങൾ വളരെ സന്തോഷത്തോടെ നിങ്ങൾ സ്വീകരിച്ചു. And we got 11 diamond sponsors, we got 25 gold sponsors, and we got 24 grand sponsors. Okay, that's a huge thing. We were able to raise it. Again, ഇത് ഞങ്ങളുടെ കോർ ടീമിൻ്റെ മാത്രം കഴിവല്ല. വി ഗോട്ട് എ ഹ്യൂജ് ഫൈനാൻസ് കമ്മിറ്റി. ഞങ്ങൾ 3 ടീമായിട്ടാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഓരോ പള്ളികളിലും ഞങ്ങൾ വിസിറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. And then JC will talk more about it. Most of our fundraising came from our souvenir team. It is a 18-member souvenir team under leadership of JC John. She did a fantastic job, right, in organizing the team and putting together all the details. And ella nanna bhangiyayittu JC she was able to do it. Also I really wanted to talk about 3 major sponsors who actually sponsored in Souvenir. One is Sindag, Varghese P. Thomas. He actually, nammal Robin vilikkum, he actually sponsored the major page of Souvenir. And AJ Dendel, Nuveen Jones, and Kotlian Restaurant, Thomas Nedunilla. അവർ 3 പേര് സുവനീറിന് നമ്മളെ നന്നായിട്ട് ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്തു. പിന്നെ ഈ ടീം, അഗെയിൻ we worked very hard. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കോർ ടീം, we drove like I don't know how many hundreds of miles we drove and how many hours we spent on Zoom calls. But at the end of the day, God gave us 1 more year to gather together. നമ്മളെല്ലാം ഒരുമിച്ച് വന്ന് സന്തോഷത്തോടെ നമ്മളിതെല്ലാം പ്രോഗ്രാമൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ കൂടി വീണ്ടും നമ്മുടെ യാത്രയിലേക്ക്, നമ്മുടെ യാത്രയ്ക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഭക്ഷണമൊക്കെ മേടിച്ച് നമ്മൾ വീണ്ടും സ്വർഗീയ യെരുശലേമിലേക്ക് യാത്രയാവണം. നമ്മുടെ യാത്ര ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് നിൽക്കുന്നില്ല. Again, thank you. Let me introduce JC for talk about more about the souvenir for this one.
Thank you so much, Philip Uncle, and thank you, everyone. I'm going to echo the words of Deepthi. The light is very bright in my eyes, but I know that all of you look lovely today. Thank you so much for joining us for the Souvenir Release. I thought that I would try to emulate the idea of a journey as I thank the people on my team, and being mindful, Tirumeni, as I know you always ask us to be, of time. So I have a timer going on the side. You know, when you pick a team, people pick the best players. Nobody picks, typically, the players who are weakest to win a race. And yet, when Achin called me in November of last year to ask, Mole, ninde workload engane aayi varsham? എനിക്കൊരു കാര്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു ചോദിക്കാൻ. I was like, Acha, I don't think you know how team sports work. I am not someone who would recommend myself as organized, capable, the one to lead a group like this. Many of you have seen me in the background of many ministries, but you'll notice those ministries do not require me to come and stand up on a stage. And so I was confused as to whether I should say yes to this journey. And yet, with the support of Achin, I did. When I talk about Achin, I have to say that I have put Achin through all the 3 phases of Abu Achin stress. This is insight into Abu Achin. Abu Achin starts everything with Koche. Then Achin becomes slightly stressed and it becomes Mole Koche. And then Abu Achin becomes very stressed and it becomes Mole Koche Kunye. I have probably produced more Mole Koche Kunye from Abu Achin than any of his parishioners and then even his own daughter. And so, Acha, for your tireless support of me and for putting up with all of the Mole Koche Kunye moments, thank you so much for believing in me that I could take on such a responsibility. Your tireless leadership is the only reason that I can stand here. So thank you so much. That was a good clap. Thank you. Now, I also have to acknowledge my team. Many of the members of our core team did not know me before this conference. And yet, when they met me, they were all excited to work with me. Jason, who is our secretary, is an experienced member of FYC, as is John Uncle, our treasurer. You guys are very familiar with their faces because they stand the test of time with this conference. And at no point did they ever make me feel that I was new to the game. Rather, they asked me for my insights, they asked me what I could bring to the table. I think Jason has sat through more calls of me being stressed about printing issues, design issues. Will the souvenir get here on time? What's going on? And he will always be like, it's okay, it'll all work out. Jason's patience and Saichan's consistent, "Karpilla mole, idokka sheriyagum," is what also supported me. It is easy for many people to control the finances and the logistics. It is much harder for them to show grace to somebody who is new to the sport. So to both of you also, my unending gratitude for all of your patience and support. Philip Uncle is next in order, but I will tell him after the other 2. Now, the thing that everybody knows about is every conference that we have will have a WhatsApp group text. Everybody loves the WhatsApp group texts. Yes, we have about 52 with the core team. But the unique thing that I got this year is we have an FYC ladies group text for me, Sharon Chechi, Dr. Sharon Abraham, and Elizabeth Potin. Both of these people have not just been our support to the secretary and to the treasurer, they have truly become Chechis to me. Throughout this entire process, I had so many questions. ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് ശരിയാണോ? ഇത് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ശരിയാണോ? ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യണോ? അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യണോ? When I went for Tirumeni's interview, I think I asked them about 550 different questions about what is the appropriate way to interview a Tirumeni. And at no point did they say, why don't you know these things? They both said, you got this. It'll be okay. Be honest with yourself. Bring to the table what it is that you have to offer. Liz Cheji has sat on phone calls while I was in physical tears, while she had things going on in her own household, while she had her own family and transitions in her life. Sharon Cheji has stayed on the phone with me for corrections when I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not the right team member. I'm tapping out. I'm not the one. They were like, you are. They are the reason that I have the courage to stand here. They are part of the reason that I have the courage to know that even though I might not be what I would describe as the right fit for the team, I'm still worthy of playing the game. I'm still worthy of being here. And of course, Philip Uncle. Philip Uncle has held my hand through prayer. He has sat with me through airline calls and through stressful moments throughout this souvenir. In the back end of logistics, as you guys are agreeing or disagreeing to any ad, There is a large tracker chart that we are monitoring and concerned about. Throughout that process, for a newbie, it's very scary if things don't go the right way. Philip Uncle has been a consistent support to say, it's all going to work out. Thank you, Uncle, for your tireless efforts. Now, I have a unique blessing. Not only did this player need all of the current team, sometimes you have to bring in extra coaches. So I had all of last year's team as well helping me out. Cherian Perumal and Matthew Joshua of last year's team were both essential players. How do I make a slide? What should go on there? How should I address this? What do we do? Oh no, Cherianachane ഞാൻ ഒരു ദിവസം 50 തവണ വിളിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അച്ഛാ ഇതിനെന്താ ചെയ്യണ്ടേ? പിന്നെ ഇതിനെന്താ ചെയ്യണ്ടേ? ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എന്താ ചെയ്യണ്ടേ? At no point was he annoyed with me. I think I gave him a list of 55 people to call one day. I said, someone is supposed to call, but they are not available, so here is 55 people for you to call. And he said, absolutely, done, I'm on it. And he was. It is a true, true blessing for me to have had their support. Thank you to you both for continuing to support this ministry and specifically for supporting me and this year's souvenir. Now please clap, they deserve it. Now, I would be remiss if I did not at least announce the names of my wonderful team. They edited for hours and hours. Some articles I got were 18 pages, and I would text them at 11 p.m. This is a beautiful 18-page article. The full version of this will go on our website. However, for printing purposes, I would like you to turn this into 2 pages within the next 24 hours. Thank you so much for your support of FYC 2025. This is a real message which I sent someone. And without any complaints, she turned around and gave me an article in 24 hours that was 2 pages. So, to my wonderful souvenir team, Matai Chaco, Michelle Baby, Varghese Baby, Irene George, Bismi Varghese, Cherian Perumal, Susan Varghese, and Deepthi Matthew. I cannot do this without you. Thank you so much. Of course, I must also thank Thomas Varghese Uncle from MGM Printing. I'm an artistic type, not a speech type. So working with Uncle, I said, Uncle, could I help you do some of the design? I am not a bookbinder, nor have I ever published anything in my life. And he said, absolutely, are you interested? He guided me through the process and allowed me to support. So I have the privilege of being one of the first FYC souvenir editors who have been part of the setting of the souvenir itself. Uncle, to you and to your company, MGM Graphics, thank you so much for this wonderful work that you've done. I have 2 more people to thank before we transition. Of course, I have saved the best 2 for last. Now, the next person that I am going to talk about, I'm going to quote scripture for you guys. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and so one man sharpens another. There are few people in life who get the privilege of having friends who sharpen them. Many of us, we live in a generation where it's very easy to look at ourselves and see dullness. But when someone is willing to look at our dullness and see that it's worth being sharpened, that's a privilege. And so if I proceeded to the next person without acknowledging her, it would be absolutely a disservice. Deepthi Matthew, our event coordinator, is not only the event coordinator, she is also not only the former FYC souvenir editor, she's also a very close friend. Throughout this entire process, when things got stressful, I said, ആര് കാരണമാണ് ഞാനിവിടെ വന്നത്? നീ ഒറ്റ ഒരാൾ കാരണമാണ്. എനിക്ക് പറ്റൂല, ഞാൻ ഇതിന് പറ്റിയ ആളല്ല. നിനക്ക് തന്നെയാണ് പറ്റിയത്, നീ ശരിയാണ് ഇതിന്, നിനക്ക് തന്നെയാണ് ഇതിന് പറ്റുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഇവിടെ വന്ന് തമാശ അടിക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ കൂട്ട് തന്നെ എന്നെ തട്ടി ഈ പണിക്ക് വിട്ട ആളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അവളെ അക്നോളജ് ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കാൻ എനിക്ക് വയ്യ. I have changed. Throughout this process, I have changed. And for that, I owe a great deal of credit to my friend and sister in Christ, who is so experienced and so wonderful, and no one is going to get a true understanding of that. But throughout this event, I hope you do. Thank you so much for gambling on me. And I've saved the best for last. During this entire process of the souvenir, the thing I was most worried for was the interview with Tirumeni. I know everyone's like, with our Tirumeni? Yes. And when I sat down to talk to Tirumeni, which was, of course, at St. Mary's Valley Cottage, I have to express my thanks to that church as well, because due to personal circumstances, both in my life and Tirumeni's life, we were going back and forth between India trips. And Tirumeni was like, absolutely, I will meet you after liturgy, not a problem. Tirumeni has seen me here and there throughout the diocese because I'm a child of the diocese. I'm one of the kids who grew up being like, Nicolas Tirumeni is so cool, he has an email. I'm one of those people. And so when I got to sit down with him in a one-to-one, I was very scared. And Shabdam Inganaka. It was very scary to me. But Tirumeni very calmly sat with us and actually gave us such beautiful insight that helped me reimagine how to look at the souvenir. The process of being souvenir editor this year, I don't know if I would pick myself for this job again. Knowing what I know today, I don't know if I would still pick myself. I wish I could say that this was like the movies where I'm a totally transformed and new person. I don't know if I would pick myself, but I can tell you this. I would pick my team 100% of the time. 100% of the time, I would pick this team. And I think knowing that, as Naina Nachan had mentioned, you know, I don't know if I had the introspection to become a pilgrim, but my team made me think about it. They made me consider it. And so I've walked a path. And I am appreciative to all of you for putting me on this path of the pilgrim, for changing me, for taking me to new places. So to each of you and to this diocese, thank you so much. Now, some other acknowledgements I want to make. This year we have over 250 ads, which is a record. All the credit goes to you guys for that. Thank you so much for supporting Souvenir. We also have the highest number of articles in recent years, both in Malayalam and in English. So to all of our writers and artists, thank you for all of your efforts. Now, without further ado, so that we can get on to our entertainment night, I have a much awaited release. Tirumeni, members of the core team, and our keynote speakers, if you could join me on the stage for the official presentation of the FYC Souvenir of 2025.